Yeah, this is popping up my glasses.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the August 20th meeting of the Facilities Committee. I call this meeting to order. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 4-0. Next is the approval of the meeting minutes for July 16th, 2020. I have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The next one is the Rocky River Elementary School Stormwater Easement and Construction / Maintenance Agreement. Mr. Burnett.
Thank you. So you all have seen this agreement before. It has been wordsmithed since the last time the attorneys had one final round with it. And we also changed one of the exhibits. So Exhibit F is a new exhibit that shows how the developer is developing the property and specifically where their detention ponds are going to be, how they're dealing with their storm drainage. So that's really the changes to it. We do ask that the Facilities Committee recommend to the Board of Education to approve the permanent stormwater drainage easement and the construction maintenance agreement.
So I have a question.
Yes.
It says the developer is also proposing to construct sidewalk to connect the school to the development, thus promoting the safe routes to school benefits. Is that in writing or are they just proposing it?
That's in the agreement. And
So they are doing it or
they are,
Okay.
yes.
Proposing to do it means that, but legally they're doing it. Okay.
They're doing it, yes.
Thank you very much. Any more questions? Not, I'll entertain a motion to recommend it to the full board.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Next is the Transportation Facility Bond Savings Transfer.
Yes, this item, we're still working through the rock at, actually, we were just finishing the rock that's underneath Rocky River Road for the road board. That's dealing with both the sewer and the water. But we are getting very close to what we had approved last time. Rather than maybe exceeding it, with another rock area or some other issue, did want to be proactive, try to get additional funds put into it because we do have to go to the Board of Education, we do have to go to the county commissioners, and I'd hate for it to happen, some issue come up and then we have to stop, work on the project. So we are asking for $150,000. We hope not to have to use it, but in the event that we do, it'll be there and we can keep the project flowing.
Okay. Do we have to go to the Board of County Commissioners in order to move this money?
We did last time.
Yep. Okay.
I make a motion that we recommend to the full board to go to the county commissioners to request moving this money.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next so that's all of our action items. Next is DPI's facility needs assessment, Mr. Burnett. And I do have a question. I had seen somewhere that it was due by October 31, and this says January 8th.
That's right. So we're very happy that on their website, they did change it. And we did see that at another location. So yes, the current date is January 8th, and we're very, very
Awesome.
happy about that.
Great.
So the study, it's every 5 years, the school systems are required to submit a plan. It's actually a survey. It's a 5-year and 10-year estimate of needs. It's specific to capital construction needs. This is what the last 5 years ago, this is what that plan looked like.
Okay.
So it, for the most part, touches just about every school. We are meeting with all the schools and have been really since the winter. Certainly the COVID break it's hurt our effort on that.
Right.
So we do still have a lot of work in front of us to get this out. The schedule that we're proposing to meet is that again working from January 8th, working backwards. we do need to go to the county commissioners. Either that's January or the second December meeting. We need to go to the Board of Education. We expect that to be the December meeting. We expect to go to the Facilities Committee in November. So that's the time frame that we're working to.
Great. Anybody have any questions?
I have one. Will the previous 10-year, will it necessarily line up with this current 5-year? They should overlap, shouldn't they? But they might not look the same.
Not necessarily. Certainly priorities change, needs change. Many of the things, have been addressed. And so it won't be identical, to it. But we do look at what was in the plan before. And certainly at sites, things change, administrations change, and what may have been a desire, at one point, may not be a desire anymore.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, next is the library at Cuthbertson campus. This is the county's library.
Yes, and so this, hopefully you all were able to see the attachments inside the in board documents. We do have, I think, 9 sheets that the county did provide. And it's there right now. They're in the design development phase. So if you're familiar with the phases of design, you've got schematic design, design development, construction documents, bid, construction. So they're still early. It's in the design development phase. So some things you certainly can change, and they are continuing to refine it. They are trying to make sure that they are, projecting to be on budget. They're currently looking at a bid timeframe in February. They're hoping for groundbreaking in April, and construction is probably a 14 to 16 month build for this project. So the way they've divided the floor plan up, they've got children's area, teens area, and adult area. And if you have any questions on it, we can.
I do.
Certainly. Okay.
Is this in accordance with our agreement with them as to what spaces we were supposed to be able to utilize at has anybody from legal looked at it to see if it meets, okay, can we have legal look at it to make sure it meets the agreement that we signed with the county? How about sidewalks? I know that wasn't something that was going to be done in the original build, but is that included in these? It's hard to read these things online because they keep switching.
So for this design development submittal that they have, it's specific to the building. So there wasn't any site work, no parking
No site work,
lots.
okay.
The
So-
sidewalk that you're referencing back to the school,
Yes,
we had a conversation with them when we met to discuss that, and they know our desire and want to have
Okay.
that sidewalk installed.
and the cross-country course?
That is a lesser impact, I think, than we originally thought,
Okay,
but
I remember you saying that.
they will
Right.
be made whole.
Okay,
And there was some discussion, I believe, if there's some extra dirt in the process of constructing the project, we may get to use it somewhere else on our site.
okay. We were a little bit specific on our agreement with them with respect to spaces that we would have. So I just want to make sure from a legal perspective that those are being honored. I assume they are.
So we knew that,
Okay,
and just with everything going on, we just hadn't got to
that's fine.
that.
Right,
We're-
no, I know.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Did I take your question? Sorry.
Yes, that was good.
Sorry. Okay, subdivision reassignment. This is Park Place. I think we brought it up before. This is a proposed subdivision. It has not been approved by the county. It's off of Willoughby Road between Newtown and Clarence Seacrest Road, 2,100 units. It's big. Part of it sits in Parkwood, and part of it sits in Sun Valley, and the stuff that's online is better to look at. What?
Yeah, we don't have anything in board
We don't have anything in board
documents,
documents. Okay, so we'll get those online so you guys can look at them. This was from last time we talked about this. We have talked once before about it, so this is from then. I went back, sorry. I pulled it out. right now, Sun Valley is at 97% of capacity. Parkwood is only at 81% of capacity. I think, and as of right now, I looked this up from Don's things. Sun Valley has a total of 5,501 planned units going into Sun Valley Middle and Sun Valley High School if they get built. But this is where we are right now. Rocky River, which is where the kids would go to elementary school that are not in Parkwood, is about 2,000 planned units there. But Rocky River's at 82% of capacity. Sun Valley High School is 7.7 miles from this proposed subdivision. Parkwood High School is 7.0 miles, and Monroe High School is 7.1 miles. And I just think that as part of our continued discussion about new subdivisions and things like that, this is something that I think we're going to have to talk about. Monroe High School is closer to it than Sun Valley High School, so I really think we need to consider moving that to Monroe. Because Sun Valley and the Indian Trail things, and that doesn't even include all the stuff that I think that they're even have coming up. There's a lot of stuff going on in Indian Trail for Sun Valley, a lot.
What was the distance again?
To Sun Valley High School, 7.7 miles, to Parkwood, 7.0, and to Monroe High School, 7.1. So Parkwood, and so part of this is in Parkwood already. But Parkwood also has, the one thing I didn't look up, Don, is what are the proposed, do we know what the proposed number of units are in Parkwood right now? Okay, sorry, I should have asked you that.
And what also may be relevant, the distance to Western Union Elementary School, if it was in the Parkwood cluster, is 7 miles. The other mileage to
Rocky River.
Rocky River is 2 miles. To Walter Bickett, it's 4.4 miles.
Is that distance drop time distance or is it straight line distance?
Don, was that as the crow flies?
Okay.
So it's closer to, so can you say those again? Walter Bickett is what?
4.4 miles,
And Rocky River is
2 miles,
2 miles.
and Western Union, 7 miles.
Okay.
But this has not been approved. This development
It
has
is
not
not.
been
It is.
approved yet.
I'm trying to think if it went through planning. Recently, I believe it went through planning, but maybe I could be wrong. But it's on their docket to go through planning.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, it would have to be rezoned. Correct. Yes, that's why it has to go to planning and stuff. Yes, it's a rezoning. And it's, I mean, again, it's nothing that this is just on here for information, but in our process of looking at things, this is a big proposed thing. Mr. Obram, did you? 2,800 in Parkwood. Okay. Thank you. So next, at the next meeting in September, we'll put together the memos like we did before, and we'll have a discussion again about it. Does anyone have any other questions we should get information on for the next meeting? No? Okay. Okay, thank you. So on the next meeting, I'm going to put it on for approval, for action, and we'll talk about it then with all the information in a memo. Is that good? With the maps? Okay, great. What? Yeah, it's not very good because it doesn't print out very well. The border, there's a map that shows the border, Matt, that's the one you want to see. The one at the bottom is what goes to Parkwood. Okay, you just want to see it, okay. Okay, next up is the construction update, Mr. Burnett.
Okay, we'll start off with Sun Valley High School. So in-person instruction at Sun Valley High School is scheduled for September 8th. There are many items that are still underway. Specifically, what we are looking at for opening of school for in-person learning has a lot to do with site work. The,
And just so everybody knows, the teachers have not gone into Sun Valley yet. They are all working from home or from outside of the sites right now. So
the front drive, the parent drop-off is still under construction. They're pouring concrete there today. That work needs to be complete before we can open that part of the school. Sidewalks need to also be complete in that area of the campus and between the gym and the new dining area. So concrete is what we call on the critical path, and has been on the critical path for this.
have we started any pours in between the new gym and the new?
Yeah. So after the way the contractor has it sequenced, they're going to be doing the front door first, and not sure if they're going to go all the way down to the band room or not, but they will then flip over to the plaza area between the gym and the dining.
There's
area.
no chance to get other crews in there to get it done?
They have increased the staff at the for the concrete subcontractor, which is a welcome note. Certainly, it would be even better if they could get an additional crew so that they could be working in two areas at the same time.
Okay.
That is our desire, and the contractor's been trying to make that happen. It just hasn't happened yet. They have increased staff. With regard to the existing building, the unit ventilators have been replaced. We do have to change the wiring and the breakers and to support that. And that effort is underway. That was not actually known until last week. So that was very much an unwelcome surprise. But that effort is underway. The electrical contractor feels that they will have most of those areas this week. We aren't sure if it's going to require weekend work, possibly weekend support on that. What we do think is that we would have at least some or most of the areas we think signed off this week, and the teachers could be in there next week, certainly Monday, and we'll just have to see if all the areas are turned over. What I mean by all the areas, so we weren't actually expecting to have the area that's going to be was formerly culinary arts, going to be ROTC. We aren't going to have the area that used to be the admin. We've known that we aren't going to have the auditorium and the old cafeteria. So those areas that we've known that we weren't going to have.
Okay. So we had a meeting with the county last week that went very well with respect to inspections and everybody being on the same page about what needs to get done in order to get the school open on the 8th of September, and before that for the teachers to get in. So I just want to acknowledge that we have talked to them, and it was a good meeting from that perspective.
Ms. Hightail, I would add that they have since followed up with us and indicated their willingness and desire to help us when and if needed. So that was a nice gesture on their part.
And where are we on windows?
So there's two parts to windows. For the existing building, we have replaced the fixed windows.
Okay.
And that was part of the scope. The operable windows were also supposed to be replaced. Those operable windows are ordered.
Okay.
We won't have those in for probably 15 weeks or something
Oh,
like that. It's going to be
operable now,
much
right?
further out.
So they were not operable, but now they're operable.
So the existing,
windows,
the existing
Yes.
operable windows were left there. So they're still there.
Mhm.
So
But they all work now.
they do.
Okay,
Okay,
so we can
Great.
use them
Yeah.
okay,
until the new ones get in.
perfect.
And then, so transportation, transportation, really we are just, for the most part, that job is done. It's 95% complete. What we are specifically waiting on is the offsite utilities. That has been the holdup, and that's specifically due to the tremendous amount of rock, that we encountered. We fortunately, as I mentioned, have successfully completed the bore for the water line and the sewer line underneath Rocky River Road. All that is good. But there's still some small areas that they do need to complete, with the utility. So we still have the opportunity for some more rock. So that's where we are. Fortunately, we were able to put furniture, in the building. It's not all complete yet, but that's underway. And that was something we were very happy to work with the city of Monroe on to enable us to get the furniture in.
I have a question. Do you have a date of when we can expect to move in and start working out of that facility?
Since we just finished the bore, I believe that was yesterday or maybe the day before. That was really when we needed to, from there, be able to put that information together. So we haven't met with the contractor since they did get the third pass through on the water line. They're putting the casing in right now. It's in the likelihood, maybe in the 3-week neighborhood. Maybe 4, hopefully not, but that's it's in that neighborhood.
Great.
Let me mention Western Union Elementary School.
Before you get to there, Porter Ridge, middle and high.
Yes.
It says it's 96% paid out. What are we waiting? Is anything not done at those two schools? Done?
Yeah, we're done for what we're planning to do.
Good. Because I wasn't sure last time if we had finished the stuff in the high school, that separate little room off.
We're just not going to do. We're going to do that separately.
Okay.
So we just won't do it through this contract.
Okay. Okay, sorry, Western Union?
Right. I did want to mention, because I did put that in there. I have the wrong contract value. The contract value is $87,400. But that work is complete.
87,000?
Right. Yeah, I had, unfortunately, had another number in there. It's 320.
That's fine.
I was reading it last night and I thought, whoa, that's not right.
So how's the baseball field at Porter Ridge?
Oh, that's, we have some nice pictures on that. So that is coming along very well. In fact, the sod should have been delivered yesterday or today, and is going to be the installation is going to start immediately. And so all the fill work is complete,
Okay.
So really we're at the best stage, and that's putting the sod down.
So, are we going to have these nice pictures to see? Are you going to share those? Yeah.
Yes. Please.
My Twitter game has been lacking for
Yes,
the
it
past few
has.
months.
Mhm.
I'll get out there.
Thank you.
I will. Thank you.
I think Porter
Okay.
Ridge High School.
I'll come up with something.
We need to see that baseball field.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay,
And-
the other one I have a question on, if anybody, Piedmont High School Athletic and Building Improvements. So you hosted a pre-bid conference,
Yes.
okay? And they're scheduled to be, bid opening is August 27th. So,
Yes.
okay, and we may need a meeting before the September board meeting to do that. We have a finance committee at 5:30, so it would have to be a little bit before that,
Okay.
okay?
We would be thrilled if we could have a facilities committee meeting on that day.
That would be fine. Just, so finance is at 5:30, so I would say 5 o'clock would probably be a good time. So why don't we put that in?
Okay.
Is that good with the members?
That
Okay.
works for me.
Okay, awesome. Does anyone else have any questions on anything in here? Okay, thank you, Mr. Burnett. Next up, change order update.
Okay, and as you can imagine, it's getting interesting. So the transportation, we did have additional work for Gold Mine Road and the offsite utilities. That is $18,857. That was with the consultants, not with the contractor. So that is in addition to their contract. We also have for the Gold Mine Road widening, a $35,000 expense. That has to do with wedging of the existing road. That was an NCDOT requirement. For Sun Valley High School, we mentioned close to a year ago, that about the unsuitable soils, and that
Yes.
we knew it was going to be a big number, and this is part of it. So the sanitary sewer line and manhole modifications, we had $17,000. Undercut is what I'm specifically talking about. That was $341,000. And then we had a bunch of small items that I won't mention all of them, but that was $67,000 and some bus drive widening, and a little bit of additional asbestos abatement.
Okay.
And so that was, but
Which
that's
brings
all
me to
allowance.
something I forgot to bring up. The auditorium at Sun Valley. We are not replacing the 60-year-old acoustic tiles because it was not included in the original scope of work. So the entire auditorium has been done except their 60-year-old acoustic panels. So I'm hoping that we are able to find the money to do something so that we have this beautiful new auditorium that also has new acoustic panels. Does anyone on
And-
this committee disagree with that? Okay.
Agree 100%. So is anyone looking in?
We're
into
pursuing that. We're
Okay.
pursuing that. And we've had discussions with both the contractor and the consultant. And so we're pursuing it.
Thank you very much.
And that was an oversight from
From the original
the
bond. so-
CCEP
Yes,
documents?
from,
Okay.
from back before
And
Dave
just
and
fell
Mark were
through the
here.
cracks?
Yes.
Okay.
So when the 2016 bond,
Mhm.
it just didn't include it.
Okay.
Can it be covered over?
Well, what we're hoping to be able to do is to take down the acoustical panels that they have right now that are on the ceiling, and come back with some type of what's called an acoustical cloud, something that would be suspended, from the ceiling. But we do have acoustical treatment on the walls, so that is as part
New
of the
or
scope.
old?
New.
New,
Yeah.
okay.
But at the other high schools that got their
Mhm.
auditorium, like Monroe and Piedmont, they got new everything. Okay.
And it certainly does add to the look,
It
of
does.
the facility.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Next up is surplus.
So we have the surplus list, and usually we don't, go through that. I did want to mention that at the February meeting, this committee heard where we had several buses from the transportation department, and the committee had no issue, with surplusing those buses. Since then, the sheriff's department has a request to use one of those surplus buses, and so what we wanted to make sure that you all were aware, that's going to go to the Board of Education, just one. And so that we hope to have that on the agenda for the September meeting.
Great. Any questions? Nope. Okay, the next one is building and zoning permits, and that's just for your FYI. Our next meeting will be September 1st at 5 PM, like we just discussed before the Board of Education meeting, but our regular meeting in September will be September 17th at 9 AM at the PDC. If nobody has any other questions in open session, I will entertain a motion to go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-131 for the consideration of bids.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.